Good evening, mate. How are you today?
Good evening. I'm very well. How are you?
Yeah, living dreams out here, mate. So, for those of you who don't know who you are, well, actually, first of all, we'll start with, this is going to be a new style podcast. I'm trying, it's going to be like Friday night chats is what I'm going to try and call it. It's going to be with my friend here, James. We're trying something different.
Just keeping it real.
Yeah, that's the aim. So, for those of you who don't know who you are, can you do a small intro on yourself and let the people know?
Yep, I'm James. Basically, I do the promotion videos for JTS, and I think that I could potentially offer some guidance maybe along the road in some sort of shape as a podcast. So, yeah, I think it's a good idea. So, yeah.
That's cool, mate. Thank you for that. So, I put something out on my Instagram earlier. We've got a few topics to try and cover tonight, and we'll see what we can dive into. Whether we're any good at chatting about it or not is two different things. So, the first topic's come from a mate of mine called Lee. He's asked us to discuss the stress of dating. Now, you're in the opposite position to me, where you're settled down, got the house, nice side of things. So, the stress of dating for you must have been very different back then to like what it is now for someone like me who is a singleton.
Yeah.
I think so for me, obviously, it's dealing with the whole online side of things, and that everything is so judged based on what pictures I like. If I put a photo online or onto Tinder, any other platform, it is judged purely on that rather than actually getting to know the person.
Definitely.
Whereas because I know you, I know how you met your missus was like in a natural manner. Do you think that the whole online way of dating now causes stress, pressure, and creates bullshit around it?
I think you've got to be careful with it, haven't you?
Massively.
You've got to treat it with a bit of respect. A lot of the time you're going sort of blindly into it, aren't you? You just sort of... It has its advantages, I think, because you get to know somebody on a kind of a deeply social level rather than judging them straight away. I think that's a cool aspect to it. But you have got to be careful because people just say things on there, don't they? They say, they could be this type of person, but you just don't know, and you just got to it's a hard old game, definitely, but respect to anyone that's still sticking at it.
I bet I'm sticking at it. I wouldn't say I'm sticking at it. That's very opposite.
But no, it's a dangerous field.
I think knowing my mate, he's a single dad, got a young boy and stuff like that. So I think that would add to the pressure of it all. That is it the minute you put that you've got do you be open and completely honest with someone from the start? Oh yeah, I've got a young kid. Or do you squirrel that information away and then just suddenly drop the kid bombshell 3-4 days in?
No. You got to be honest. Starts with honesty, doesn't it? If you're holding something back like that, where's that going to go?
That's the thing that, like you said that it has its benefits. You get to talk to people on a social platform, but then so many people, we see it with regards to the way people are on social medias. You can hide behind just about with anything and hide behind the screen and do what you like and be a different character to what you are sat opposite one another on a date. So that person can be sat there, phone in hand, ultimately the most confident person, and then you get to a date and it's for those of you, obviously, the silence there was my impression of what the date would be like.
I don't know though, I've been in some situations before when I've been on dating websites where you kind of think like that to start off with, but then you realise when people meet up who they've never met before, there's always that that. I don't know if I really want to show who I am just yet, but I think it will come if you're communicating well before without seeing each other. I think that's a good baseline. Do you know what I mean? It could work. I do think it could work in a lot of occasions. Just you just got to be a little bit more open-minded with it.
I still think sometimes as well that going to the next extreme level of it is you get the TV programs like your First Dates, Naked Attraction, all that, and like First Dates is the one like so you go out dinner date, completely blind date, which I like the prospect of.
Yeah.
Like meeting someone you've never met and you've got to learn something about that person or learn everything about that person over meals, drinks, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then at the end they put them there side by side and say, right, do you want to see this person again? Do you not want to see this person again? And sometimes people go, oh, I didn't feel the spark was there straight away. And you're like, well, it probably isn't going to be because you're asking to create a spark in one day and judge it all on that. You can't. Like literally, if you went out on one date, saw the person and went, fuck me, I want to tear your clothes off, here, now, spark, let's get married.
Yeah.
Dating would be pretty boring in terms of that everyone has a successful first date. I mean, that would be boring.
Oh, of course, yeah. Like sparks are something that happen naturally over a period of time, you know, and then they just like create a bang, don't they?
That's
like a car engine.
No, that's it.
You know what I mean?
That's one of the things you have to go out on a few, like go 1, 2, 3, 4, however many days, and you keep drip feeding your personality in because you don't want to come straight in and be like, wham, bam, thank you, this is me, this is who I am.
Too intense, in some occasions.
And that side of things. So, I talk from personal experience. I do find the whole dating game quite difficult because, like I said previously, it's all based on, more often than not, based on what you see on a social media outlet. But then, especially at the minute in the world that we're currently living in, you can't exactly go up to someone in a bar and start trying to chat them up because I need a face mask and a hazmat suit on.
What are you put off by it? Like what makes you think, ooh, what is it?
Do you want to open Tinder now and we'll have a look and we'll see?
Yeah, go for it. We'll unwind it
and we'll see.
I'll try and like, okay, right. We'll do this thing, right? You tell me a message that a girl has sent you that you've not replied to yet, and it's got to be a bit more than hello.
Mate, to be fair, my online dating game is
a bit more than, like hello is really like hello.
It's not that, it's like the whole profile thing. So you go onto someone's profile, right? So here we go.
I reckon we could probably get this up on the screen, by the way.
Yeah, I know, but I don't want to show someone's profile and get in trouble for it because
what if we blur it out and just show what they've written?
Alright, well this one here hasn't written anything, so it's a waste of time.
Okay.
Hasn't written anything, hasn't written anything, hasn't written anything. So you see here, so what you're trying to find something to talk about instantly is based upon pictures. Hasn't written anything. Alright, even worse here. In a long-term relationship, so I'm afraid all I can offer you is sex. That is genuine, honestly. So that is written on someone's Tinder.
I don't. I'm not buying that, mate.
No comments, nothing.
What are these people that you've matched with and nothing's come?
This is me going through them.
What, the people that have messaged you first?
No. This is like people that I can swipe on.
Okay.
So here we go. Currently accepting applications for Warzone duo partner, whatever that is. I make people drunk for a living, so she's a bartender.
Right.
And after hours I design stuff with community playing on repeat in the background and probably 80s music. Special talent slipping on wet carpets. Like,
oh dear.
Nothing written.
Sounds
nothing
a bit
written.
out of control, doesn't it?
Nothing
I don't like
written.
that. It's making me feel dizzy, mate.
I like gin and gin. Nothing written. Oh, here we go. Here's a great one. I'm only 5'1", so I'm looking for an extra 6 inches. Can you offer me that? What? This is what you're dealing with. I've shut it now because I can't be dealing with it.
Mate, that's funny. I bet you get some inboxes from that just purely for the comical value to it.
Yeah, it's like proper fishing for a...
I think if you're a girl, you got to go in with the fun. If you just... It's difficult, isn't it? Like, how many people on there in proportion are on there for dick versus relationship?
I don't know, because
it depends what you want, isn't it? Like, don't they say like there's certain dating websites that are a bit more like Match is sort of like
relationships.
Yeah.
And then there's other that are more related to like a friend with benefits sort of thing.
Is that still kind of quite uniform in each?
Nah, because you can get you can get onto Tinder and go and find a date, a couple of dates, this, that, the other.
Yeah.
But then on the flip side, like you say there, you can match with someone who is purely out there looking for sex. And that's what I mean. We're opening up a can of worms here that people... It comes back to what you said a minute ago about honesty.
Yeah.
But then as a bloke, naturally, are you going to go for a date or are you going to take guaranteed sex? As a red-blooded male, date or guaranteed sex? Date or guaranteed?
I think...
I suppose it would also come down to the man's mindset.
I think date all the way. Yeah.
I mean, I've got to be careful with my answers here.
No,
because I know that my mum will listen to this.
Mate, I think date because... Look, it's stupid, isn't it, really? Hooking up with somebody that you don't know. It could be anybody.
That's the other side of the... That's what we're saying here, that people aren't necessarily who they claim to be on this online platform of life.
Sometimes you got to, like... if you've invested in that sort of going there, seeing them, you might as well. Do you know what I mean? Say if... we're allowed to say that. Like, if you... Say you took the plunge and you just thought, oh, I'll just try my luck with this, and it went really downhill. The day before, well, she seems okay.
Yeah.
Shall I just do it while I'm here?
Yeah, I know exactly what you meant.
Have you been in that dilemma? Be honest.
Yeah, I've had terrible dates and ended up getting something from it.
Just purely because you're just that weird ego inside you, sort of like, well, yeah.
It's like the devil.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the red-blooded male
dancing
element of you
that
suddenly thinks, oh yeah, fuck it, I'll just sleep with this person anyway.
Yeah. But it's bad though, really.
It is a bad thing, and I think that's what my mate is asking. Is like, where do we stand with everything? Do we follow what we are as males, or do you have to persevere with dates? Or
I just think you do what you want to do. Like, if you're a single lad today in 2020, what do you do? Is that the question you're asking me?
Yeah, essentially, yes.
I think now more so, like, people are wanting to connect more with each other, aren't they?
100%. I would date someone.
I think that's important. Like, people have been through quite a lot. Honestly, you can see it in people's faces. Like, you can think, they're like a bit worn out. Like, all they just want like just a little hug, like
comfort.
a little, just talk about anything funny. People don't want to hear all the stuff that's going on. They're fed up with it. Like, they're pulled pillar to post.
100%.
Just so I think a date could work really well. Like, you just got to take the plunge. Like, I think now's a good time to chat to people. Like, it doesn't matter where it is, really. If you've got the confidence to, go up to somebody, like in a shop maybe, or something like that. I've never been that type of person. I don't know if you are, but it's a whole different kettle of confidence.
I'm not convinced I'd approach someone doing my weekly shop in Tesco.
Some people do.
Some people do.
Do.
Don't get me wrong, there has been times where I've walked around Tesco and I'm like, she's quite attractive, but how weird would it look me walking over to her while she's like picking up some fucking I don't know, a loaf of bread and being like, oh hello, look, sorry, this is completely random out of the blue, but I find you quite attractive. Can I take your number? Can I do this? Can I do that? Like, would a girl be weirded out by that, by the fact that then, like, or have you gone about it the right way there, or is she then going to be weirded out by the fact you've come up to her, approached her in Tesco's, and then like she's going to be a bit worried walking back to her car, or that you're suddenly going to appear, or would you rather you like went full stalker mode?
That's a hard one.
Suddenly found her on social media and started going, oh look, this is even weirder. But I saw you in Tesco's today. I found you attractive. Would you like to go out for a drink sometime? Because people have that false confidence behind the screen. So do you get what I mean? Like, do you go and approach someone and risk sounding a bit weird, or do you miss an opportunity and then go full online stalker mode and look even... I don't know. Actually, now that I've spoken about it there...
I know what you mean.
You're
in that dilemma of do we try and meet naturally or do we try and meet forcefully?
Yeah.
I know what you mean. Yeah, it's a tough one. I don't think just randomly going up to someone, and I think an occasion's got to have happened. You can't just be like bumping into somebody. Say for example, like an event happened, like a car. I don't know.
Christ, do not say a car
crisis.
crash.
No, a crisis happened.
Yeah.
It's a memorable event. You went through. Two strangers went through something that was quite intense together. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
And you would have. Do you know what I mean? And that causes a lot of trauma probably as well. And I think like if you can connect with somebody during that level, then perhaps.
Yeah, and then so then let's go to like a normal society.
Yeah.
Let's say you're out on a Saturday night in town.
Yeah.
You're in a pub.
Yeah.
Do you see a girl you think's attractive at the bar?
Right. On her own or in a group?
She's out with a group of friends, but she's at the bar on her own buying her friends some drinks. You're on the table with a couple of your mates. You see her.
Yeah.
You both make eye contact.
Okay.
That's it for the moment.
That's purely eye contact.
Purely eye contact at the moment.
Okay.
She then goes over to her table, sits down with her friends.
Right.
And then every now and then you keep catching each other's eyes.
Ooh.
A little smile.
Really?
Little wry smile every now and then.
Yeah. I think
You then see her go up to the bar
Yeah.
again. She's out with two friends.
Yeah.
They've then gone up, bought 2 more rounds. So
Okay.
it's her turn to go back up.
Okay.
It's not your turn to buy a round of drink for the boys, but you think this is an opportunity.
Oh hell yeah, 100%.
Do you go up to the bar
100%.
and go, look?
100%, 110%. I'd be going up there, mate. I'd have my Nike Falcons that I just bought. They would be fastened, done up, tuned to the max. I'd be at that bar, mate, and I'd be in full whoever I wanted to be mode.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So you've caught the eye.
Yep.
So let's say you're going around Tesco's.
Mm-hmm.
As bringing it back to that one.
Yep.
You catch your eyes in the special offers aisle.
Okay, yeah.
And then you go around a bit and keep. Oh, sorry, like not in a weird manner, but just conveniently.
Okay, yeah.
You keep bumping into one another as you go around the store.
Yeah.
Do you then go, right? This is going to be a bit odd, but do you mind if I grab your number? Like, I've seen you as we've gone around doing our shop. Like, you've got a nice smile, you've got nice eyes, or something. Just a little compliment in there. So, what is the difference between that and a night out, apart from alcohol?
It's just the environment. It's the associations that come with environments. Night out, like, what are night outs? They're sociable events, aren't they? They're like, they're like common ground for meeting one another, like communicating and stuff like that. So yeah, like the shop is something just like quite boring and dull, isn't it? It's like
so on that side of things, you're saying it's boring and dull going shopping.
Yeah.
But then would someone approaching you asking you for a number make it an excitable thing, and then you've come away from the shopping being like, oh, I've got now something to look forward to, having been out doing a boring task?
Yeah, I mean that's a good way to look at it. Like if you've managed to, because when you're in a shop, you're often at your worst, aren't you? You're always like out of the gym, just casual going through. So yeah, I suppose if you could pull somebody in that sort of
aspect,
then I think that would be a nice way too. It's just...
See, this is what I mean. There's
rare
so many...
isn't it?
Oh, of course it is.
I'd probably take... Yeah. In the grand scheme of things, if that happened in that situation, I think, you'd weigh it up, wouldn't you? You'd look at whoever, him, her, and you'd know the chemistry, wouldn't you? Surely everyone knows if something looks game, you go with, they say gut instinct, don't they? And it's always normally right.
Oh, no doubt.
So you just, if it works, it works, and you just walk away from it like, okay, yeah. never mind. But
I think that's something that's quite important as well. Is I've always said, like, say yes to opportunities all the time, and it's that whole thing of like being open to an opportunity happening at any moment.
Yeah.
So you being out doing the weekly shop,
Yeah.
fucking going up to the post office to send a letter,
yeah,
like just something minor can create a major opportunity. So it could be that. So if someone approached you in a store and offered you a job, it sounds really mad, but what's the difference between that and a date? It's an opportunity. You don't know what that opportunity can then bring in life.
no, not at all.
So us saying this now is like, oh yeah, well, it's difficult, it's scenarios, this, that, the other. But if someone approached you and came up to you and said, oh mate, sorry, excuse me, are you James Goodall? You'd be like, yeah, I am, why is that? Oh mate, I've seen some of your stuff on social media about like your photography. I'd really like to get in touch with you about that, I know it's slightly different in terms of it's not a date, it's not potentially a relationship, this, that,
Yeah.
but it's an opportunity. So
Yeah.
looking at a date as an opportunity can be a different way of maybe managing it and making it so dating is less stressful.
Yeah.
Like just look at it as an opportunity to meet someone new, learn something new,
Yeah.
and take that opportunity. If it doesn't work out, there's a high chance you're going to have learned something from that person anyway in that evening.
Oh, exactly. Like it's all like life experience as well, isn't it?
That's the key thing.
Just get out and about, like, you know, you're almost like going on stage. I hate to say it, but it's going on stage. You know, you're showing the best version of yourself.
You're selling yourself.
Yeah, so you want to go out there and give it your 100%. And if you didn't do quite as well as you thought you did, then just look at maybe how you felt like during that date, and just because it's hard, like opening up as a human being to somebody else. It has to be like the right, because you're constantly like making subconscious thoughts about, do I trust this person or do I not? That's all it's about, and like it takes a while.
Oh, of course it does, and
especially if you've been through a lot, like that can sometimes.
And we'll come on to that, like with regards to some of the other topics we've got to chat about. But like you say there, a lot of people put up a guard when they're dating because of previously getting hurt, bad experiences, various other bits and pieces, and I do get that. Like I can see why people do it, but at the same time, don't always tar people with the same brush. And that goes for men and women. Don't tar a woman with a brush because your ex cheated on you. All women are going to cheat. Or the same for women to men, like, oh, your ex was a psycho and controlling. Don't suddenly think all men are.
No.
And that whole, it's not a stigma, but the whole theory of everyone being the same is not correct.
Dangerous path, isn't it? You're always putting up a guard all the time. And if you're putting up a guard the whole time, then you're not really getting to see that. You're not being able
the
to.
true version of something.
No. You need the full true version. And I think, you know, if you're not being true to yourself, you know.
It comes back to the first thing we said about dating, is that whole honesty thing.
Yeah.
So I think, to sum up that one, you'd say that you got to be honest, you got to be open to any opportunity within dating.
Yep.
Whether that be in the most random place you've ever been in your life, or online. And if you are doing it online, have something about you that is there, because we went through a few profiles there, and I think I said there was nothing written on more than I said there was. Well, like there 100% was more written or less written on than what there was. Yeah. Because you need to start by finding a common ground. Looking at someone's picture doesn't find you a common ground.
No, not at all. I think it's misleading, isn't it? It's very misleading.
Comes back to that, honestly.
And I do get why. Like, why does everyone's competing, aren't they? So they feel as if they need to almost, I don't know. I haven't been on dating websites in a long time, mate, but I just, some ways agree with them and other ways don't, you know?
No, of course. And I think then the final one would be like, don't tar every person with the same brush, and just, like we say, be open to that opportunity, because you don't know where it's ever going to come along.
Exactly.
I think we've done quite well with that one, actually.
I think we have, but I'm really keen to see what else people have said on Tinder.
Oh, so
Just you got, mate. Just now for the people listening, just go into. Just come on, we want to know.
Right, Tinder.
Just this gossip hour.
No, it's not, because it's stitching.
It's gossip hour. Come on, I want to. Can you do any dirties as well? Like, would I know anybody on there?
I doubt it.
Local.
Right, here we go. So a female.
Local fen.
A female.
Tigerness.
Here we go. Oh, hun. If you think I'll message you first, you have another thing coming.
Well, what? And she messaged you first?
No. This is women that come up.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I just find that stuff tiring. That's just an argument waiting to happen.
Exactly. A lot of people just put their Instagram handle on it and say, "Oh, message me on there." It's like, well, no. Oh, here we go. Rhiannon. Oh shit! I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Techno lover and Liverpool fan. Don't message me if you're a Tory.
What? Why be political? So boring.
Another one.
People need to not be so boring on there. That's the trouble.
Exactly.
It's a difficult one though, mate. If I was single now,
it's tough.
You'd just have to learn to accept you're gonna be probably on your own for a little while.
I mean, that's
but you know, if you could chat to somebody online, then crack on. Like, that's quite spiritual, isn't it?
Well, that is
chatting to someone. It's quite exciting as well.
Yeah.
I always found. Getting a little message come up, ping, 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 ping. But then little endorphins, isn't it? Ping, 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 ping. Yeah. What's that? Ping, ping, ping.
But then I think it comes back to, like, you're then sat relying on this device to create your happiness. Which is something you shouldn't do.
Nah. Mate, I've turned a lot off on that phone now.
Oh yeah.
I've deleted Facebook app. I can only access it through the web browser, which like doesn't give me all like the pop-ups. And
yeah.
So I hardly go on that anymore. And then Instagram, I've just filled that with none of my friends, really. Just except like maybe you and Josh.
Yeah.
And then the other stuff is just like content that I want to see, like photography ideas.
Videography stuff.
Mate, I got rid of all the rubbish, why do we want to see that every day? Like, you know, like newspapers, mate, they're gone. They don't exist anymore. Not for us.
No.
We've never, people of our sort of era that read newspapers, I always found that's a different sort of breed, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
If you catch a 20 to 30 year old reading a paper, what sort of character have you built up in your head?
Don't get me wrong, I still buy.
Do you really? Are you a paper?
No, I don't buy.
You sit in your tractor with a.
No, I don't buy the Monday to Sunday paper. I purely buy. There's a paper that is the rugby paper. I purely buy it just to read all about rugby. Mm-hmm. So because I love rugby, and it is sometimes nice to read it in like a book form or a paper form rather than being sat looking at your screen form of it. And I sometimes do like it, but at the same time it is a dying trade in terms of
definitely.
I genuinely believe in like 20-30 years it won't exist because every bit of journalism will be done online because everyone views everything on a screen, phones, everything's so accessible from your pocket.
Definitely.
And that side of things.
Wrist.
Yeah, Apple,
It's dead, mate. Papers are dead. What I'm trying to say is, anyone in their 20s and 30s caught reading a paper, like, just toss that out, like that. Use it to wrap your chips. Understanding.
Right, next topic.
Yeah, I think we did well on that though, but you still haven't really gone into the whole Tinder. I am quite intrigued with the Tinder. You have to show me after.
I'll show you a slide. Yeah, alright.
I'll do the I'll tell the boot camp people.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about
that. There might be people that go to boot camp that are on there.
Might be rough. Right, next one. How to stop fixating on things outside of our control. This is something me and you have spoken about before, as mates, is how to stop fixating.
Excuse me.
That's all right. How to stop fixating on things like out of our control. It's one of those things, I've said it quite a bit, is you control what you can control in your life and let everything else fall into place. But more often than not, what you can't control is often falling into place in a shower of shit. So it makes it very difficult just to sit there and go, well, how can I react to this? How can I control what is going on by my side?
It's me.
By my side.
I need some water. What is this? Brew dog. Went down the wrong hole, mate.
But you can't control everything all the time, and if you could, it would be so mentally draining. If you were constantly oh, I need to move this, I need to do that, I need to do this, control everything.
Because
then you're looking to control the emotions of people around you as well.
God, if you could control everything, if you could control every single thing you could control,
yeah, that's what we're saying. It's like how to stop fixating on things that are out of your control and focus on what you can control, I suppose.
Yeah, I know, that is, surely that's the question we ask ourselves till we're grey and old.
Well, that's the thing, because you know that within your job relies on things happening out of your control. If you could make something happen at work that was in your control, you wouldn't let it happen. You'd collect your wage without having to go and sort that job out, or sort the issue out, or this, that and the other. So but then I suppose one of the hardest things is we as humans think we can control everything and anything, and that's where people then start getting mentally drained, tired.
We are naturally control freaks, I think, aren't we? I do think so in some ways. Like we want to get done what we want to get done, you know. Like we've always got like an objective, it seems, you know. Like we're always, we need to do this, we need to do that. Do you know what I mean? It seems there's always this motion coming.
Like setting targets all the time, sort of thing.
Yeah. Don't you think?
Yes and no. So people talk about like they set out daily targets, weekly targets, everything like that. I work my stuff on kind of a monthly thing.
Yeah.
Because there's so many, it comes back to there's so many things out of your control that can affect how that target goes. So if you said for a week you want to do X, Y and Z, but then something comes up at work, changes that. Something comes up in your home life, changes that. So then you get to the end of the week and you're like, well, I didn't manage to achieve, right, I wanted to go to the gym 4 times.
Right.
I wanted to eat really well all week.
Yeah.
I wanted to go for coffee twice with friends, and I wanted to finish reading a book, right? So 4 fairly simple things.
Okay.
By all accounts. Right. Shit. I didn't manage to get to the gym 4 times because I got a phone call late. I had to go and help out with someone at work. So that took off a night that I was going to go to the gym. My mum rang me. I had to go around there and help her sort something out of her house. Oh shit, I lost another night.
Yeah.
Right. So now you're then beating yourself up because you missed 2 gym sessions.
Yeah.
And you haven't even worked your way through your list yet. So if you set monthly things, this is my personal opinion, I'm probably wrong, but there are so many things you can do to gain stuff back on a month. You can have a bad week in a month and still hit your targets.
So you need more realistic challenges.
Yeah. Rather than
definitely, I think I am definitely my own worst critique. You know, like this. You know, you always put pressure on yourself, don't you? It's just I do. Like I'm terrible for it, mate. Like I'm the worst.
I think it's one of the things though, is. So if you set out, like, don't get me wrong, I get why people put out things that they want to achieve in a day, this, that and the other, like, or things that they want to achieve in their working day. So say you've got umpteen emails to sort out, you've got to book hotels for the next work trip, you've got to sort out taxis, sort out this. I get why people do that for their working day because they can control that within their working hours. It's when you're setting external targets that relate to, like I said, reading a book, catching up with friends, going to the gym, going for coffee. So 4 simple, by all accounts, they're 4 simple things.
Yeah.
But there are so many mitigating circumstances that come into achieving those that when you don't achieve them, you then sit there and go, oh fuck it, I've messed up another week because I only got to the gym twice.
I know.
Whereas if you set out your monthly target and say, I want to attend the gym this month. Right, it's such a broad spectrum way of looking at it. But you also feel satisfaction when you go once, twice.
Oh yeah.
Right, I want to try and catch up with James this month and John for a coffee. So you've got 4 weeks to try and organise seeing 2 people.
Yeah, I think you've got to look at that as like a realistic.
This is what I mean. So then you're controlling things that are
more likely to succeed.
More likely to succeed.
Yeah.
But then also, you're not going to let the external factors or the uncontrollables come in and influence those little bits and pieces.
Okay. Are we talking about this in terms of somebody who maybe gone from a bad place to here, or are we just talking in general?
As a general, I think.
Do you think?
Yeah. I think it's such a difficult thing, because if you are in a bad space, everything seems out of your control.
Yeah,
Because
it does, definitely.
one of the most important books that I've ever read, I've spoke about this with other people, is a book called The Chimp Paradox.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about the way the brain works,
Yeah.
but in a simplified manner so that simpletons like myself can understand it. And how we've all got a chimp in our brain, goes in a cage, and every now and then it has to come out the cage.
Yeah.
But then you've got the power to put it back in. You've got the power to control your own mind.
Yeah.
But the chimp is sort of an uncontrollable all the time.
Yeah.
You have to let him out to let him back in, and da 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 da. So when you're in the bad place, the chimp's out a lot of the time, and you don't feel you can put him back in. You see, there's a lot of self-sabotage.
Do you think that thinking that this monkey, if you're referring to yourself as an animal, do you think that's a bit... Do you think maybe I know it's an analogy, but if you're referring to an animal, do you think then that's kind of making you a bit restricted?
In what aspect?
Well, just being a monkey like that is just very
But then it's only referring to one element of our brain as the chimp. It's not referring to us as a character.
Yeah, but
as a chimp. But I do get what you mean. But at the same time,
we're a living thing, aren't we?
Yeah, we also evolved from being a chimp.
Yeah, I know, but we're on a different spectrum, obviously, aren't we?
Well, I don't know. Some people I've met, I'm not sure they've evolved from there.
Yeah, but I get what you mean.
But it is. I'll lend you it. It is a brilliant book. But I do think that if you are in the worst place,
mm-hmm.
then it is difficult to see the controllables that you can then get back. But if you can then start regaining one or two little controllables,
I think that's...
You then start building...
Yeah, sure.
So you find one or two.
Yeah.
One or two turns into three.
Yeah.
3 turns into 4, and then you start regaining control of the elements of your life that you want to control and to look after and to work with, rather than constantly feeling you're being dragged around by your uncontrollables.
Yeah.
I hope that's made sense in what I'm trying to say there.
Yeah, I agree.
That when you're in the worst place you can be, you start by setting one target for the day. That can be something as simple as getting out of bed.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in a really bad space, so you've ticked that control. You control getting out of bed. Tick that one.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so then the next day you go, I'm going to set 2 things. Get out of bed, leave the house for a 5-minute walk. Dump. Alright, next day you might go, get out of bed, or not even the next day, but the next set of targets you come around to. Get out of bed, leave the house for 5 minutes, read 1 page of a book. Right, tick 3.
Yeah, I mean...
And you're then regaining what we, as two people who are in relatively good spaces, those things that we're saying there, we probably take with a pinch of salt, because we do them naturally every day.
Yes.
You get out of bed, you're out of the house, you read a page of a book. But when you're at a point where you don't see the positives from any situation...
It's like riding a bike, isn't it? Once you start pedalling, the thing starts making...
progress.
Movement, and you can and it's based on them fundamentals which you just went into, It
starts with 1, turns into 2.
Yeah. That's slow. It's that learning process that you see it when you're young. You do things slow, and then, do you know what I mean? Build up, and then.
But I think that's the thing as an adult as well. If we're talking about doing things slowly,
mm-hmm.
I think the thing is, a lot of people turn 18, 21, whatever it is, when you finish school, go off to uni, you graduate, you expect to leave uni, or graduate, get your dream job, turn into an adult overnight.
Yeah.
Don't wish that.
No.
I saw something today online that said, I'll see if I can find it quick, but it's like, you don't want to wish your own life away. You only get one opportunity at this. No one is given another chance to live life. Hopefully this will work.
I need my vape.
If you woke up tomorrow and instantly achieved all your major life goals, you wouldn't know how to handle any of it. It'd be completely overwhelming because you hadn't grown and transformed through the process of creating all. The process is magic, it's the becoming of you.
I like that.
Yeah, so did I. And a friend of mine shared that on Instagram. And I think that is very apt, that we're talking about like the struggle, being in the darker place, or not being able to see a way out of something you can control. Just rein it back in, bring one thing in, control that, and then you gradually start to grow as that person again and achieve your different goals.
Oh yeah, like you definitely have to take those falls, don't you? And get back up again. Like you just, it's natural human instinct, isn't it? Just keep on going. Just keep going with it. Go with the flow, and like eventually
it's part of being an adult. It's part of being an adult, and it's part of growing up.
Oh yeah.
But I think we've done well on that topic again. Actually,
I do.
I think we can leave that one by saying like
that is like kind of, I guess, yeah, what me and you do on a daily basis, don't we?
Yeah.
I mean,
I think one of the things is, so if you're not being able to, or you feel like you're not controlling the controllables or worrying about it, is set little measurable things that you can control to start regaining control.
Yeah.
Of those things you feel are out of your control.
Yeah.
That's quite a complex sentence actually, but I think that's the way we've got to leave this one, is just take control of the small controllables and it will help you regain the big controllables.
Yeah, definitely.
And eventually bring you back in touch with what you say. And I mean, me and you are obviously no experts on this, we've got to say that, because if someone takes my advice and then it's wrong, I'm liable to a court case and I can't afford a good service.
No, sure. No, I get what you're saying, definitely. We're not experts, are we?
So this is our personal opinion, and that's the whole point of this chat.
Yeah, of course.
It's all based around our opinions, and I'm lucky enough a few people have sent in some stuff for us to try and chat about.
So what's your opinion on that matter then?
That's what I just said.
Tell me in a real short sentence.
Regain the small controllables, and then everything else will start to fall into place.
I like that. And I think if you could find something maybe that you're into that's got an element of control over it as well. Do you know what I mean? Like a sport, maybe.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like something
go
like.
And find a new hobby.
Like even a PlayStation. You know, like being in control with a character.
Yeah. That's quite good. I like that one.
Just on that sort of level, you know, just try and. You got to also ask yourself why. Why do you not feel like you're in control? That's a whole different. That's a whole different. Yeah, but I know. But what I'm saying is, you know, that's we're on about. The first phase is like obviously acknowledging you've got a problem.
Yeah.
The second phase, they're a phase sequence, aren't they?
Oh,
phase
100%.
1, phase 2.
Bit of a little pyramid scheme.
Yeah, and this phase 3 is probably like, right, I'm feeling pretty good now. Like I don't feel the symptoms as much, but I'm gonna go out and
look back at why things happen and
exactly. That takes time, mate, and experience, and you're not gonna get it right first time. Might take 2, 3, 4, 5. You may never, but
100%. So, tick that one.
Tick
that. Right, the final one for the evening is views on self-sabotage. Now, I will put my hands up and say that I am the most guilty person of self-sabotage that there probably is. I beat myself up far too much about things. It probably comes back to things that I can't control, that I then just, and then I let that sort of almost dictate a day, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but that's just noise, mate, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
that's daily noise, and you're like a filter, aren't you? You're filtering all this. You're like a machine. Like your ears are taking all this sound in all the time, and like good, bad, and it's filtering it, mate. And like you're gonna get days like that.
I think one of the things you said earlier comes back quite apt to self-sabotage. Is you've unfollowed a lot of the noise on social media. Got away from that. Because
gone.
Yeah.
Doesn't exist.
Follow things.
Fill your head with things that you want.
Exactly.
It's so important. Like
that's one of the things that I do as well, is I follow things that benefit me.
Got to
educate me, because then if not,
they keep you on the straight and narrow. You know?
There's that. And if not, you can flick onto social media and go and look and see like a bloke with big chest, big abs, everything that you haven't got, sort of thing, and you think you have to look at that and deem that as what you need, because that is what is being illustrated on social media, and that is then what people deem as a society norm.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be quite cool though to be like that?
No, it'd be boring.
Really?
Mate,
what, you're telling me that, like, think of somebody that we would know, like who you aspire to. We won't say any names, but
who do I? Right, all right. Then let's sit here now. Who do you aspire to be, or who do you?
What? Famous? Not famous?
Be anyone. Genuinely, if you had to aspire to be someone.
For what reason? Like, just a general reason, like your body, or
you name your reason for why you aspire to be them.
Ooh, that's a hard one. And then you do yours.
I don't aspire to be anyone.
Do you really?
No.
That's quite a bold statement.
I look up to people, but I don't ever want to be anyone, because I feel that, I spoke about this on another podcast, is that I, as myself, am enough. Like, we're opening another can of worms here, but me as a character, I am enough. People love me for who I am and who I am developing to be.
Yeah.
But if you suddenly say, I aspire to be someone, you're then taking away a key point about who you are as a character. Why do you want to be someone different to who you already are?
Because there may be things you don't like about yourself.
There are, but they're things that you can improve.
Right.
Self-improvement.
Yeah.
Right, so, all right, let's take it away. You've got brown eyes, like me.
Yeah.
Let's say you wanted blue eyes. That's something you can't change. But that is
you
a mind.
could.
Well, you probably could. It would cost a lot of money.
You know, if it bothered you that much, if it's something that bothered you daily, like me and my partner, we watch this program called Dr. Pimple Popper or something like that.
Oh yeah.
And they get people on there with the most biggest spots and stuff like that, and they pay. You know, like I think the show pays for it. But all like the insecurities and stuff that people come in with, and that they can change basically today, like almost get rid of it, like procedures that you can have.
Oh yeah.
You can do what you want. Like I'm not saying it's like right or wrong, but it's nice to have that option though, isn't it?
Yeah, of course.
There's a comfort in like, okay, there's this thing that I don't like about me, but I think it's again like it goes back to like that filtering, like you're choosing constantly what am I taking away the most from this,
Yeah, of course, but when I said like aspire to be someone, I genuinely don't believe that I aspire to be anyone. There are certain elements that I like listening to of other people and seeing of other people.
But you wouldn't want to be wholly that person, is what you're trying to say.
I think you got to remember what those people we're aspiring to be, or potentially aspiring to be, put on social media. So you're judging your aspirations based on seeing something on their social media.
Yeah.
So they're putting up them 100% their best.
Yeah.
They're only going to show you the good fucking parts of their life. They're not going to show you the times where they're insecure about how their glasses fit that day, or like how their chest looks, or their bingo wings, or like fucking the fat on their hips.
Yeah.
So we're never going to see that side of them. So they might sit there at home of an evening and be to their wife, partners, friends, whatever it is, saying, oh look, I'm really self-conscious, or something about this element of me, and they're then sitting there doing that same self-sabotage that you're beating yourself up about because you don't look like that person.
Yeah.
Whereas you're probably in a better mindset than... I don't really know, because I think everyone does, like, everyone self-sabotages and everyone looks up to other people, or looks to other people for inspiration about things in their lives. But we shouldn't look to others all the time. We should look from within to begin.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, yeah, you have to obviously start by looking within, but there's nothing wrong with taking elements of other people to build you. Like it's not.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay.
So when I say I don't aspire to be someone, I don't. But
you don't want to be identical to that person. You just want to take some elements from them, like whether it be somebody's good looks or I don't know, like you know, like someone's humour or something like that.
Exactly.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
So there are elements. So you sit and you look on your social media and you think, oh, actually, I'd like. Fuck me, that person I know, I thought I had a good work ethic.
Yeah.
That person seems to be working all the time. Or I really like the way they come across in interviews, the way they talk publicly, or I really like their mindset. I like this element of them. I like at the end of the day, we are a hybrid. We can be constructed and changed as to fit our lifestyles. So if I looked like, it sounds a bit mad, I really like Russell Brand.
I do.
We spoke about this off the air.
I think he's one of them people, isn't he? That
he's very out there. He's had a lot of life experiences.
Yeah.
He's done a lot of.
I like him. I'd love to chat with him.
Yeah, he's done a lot of things I'd never do in my life. But I like the way he look or his outlook on life. Like he has a very good outlook. So yeah, I'd like his outlook. There's a few people I follow on Instagram.
He's a god, actually, Russell Brand.
There's a few people I follow and I think, oh, your mindset's quite good. Like you've got this bulletproof mindset. He came on my podcast. A bloke called James Elliott. Really good way of looking at mindset and that style of things.
It's amazing. I love listening to all that.
And then there's a few other people I follow with regards to fitness stuff, and I think, actually, that's cool. I like following that.
Yep.
And then there's stuff that comes down to business. I like the way that people run this. So I don't look at one person and go, oh, I want to be that. I take and adapt to make it fit my lifestyle.
Yeah, of course.
So then I don't self-sabotage myself because I'm not looking at this person. Why am I not that person? Why? Because then you're like, why am I not that person? And then you sit there in that dark place. Whereas if you go and pick...
That's quite interesting.
Pick that element, you then build the person that you want yourself to be and are happy to create, rather than not being Lee or James and trying to be each other. You're taking the bits that you like of loads of different people in your life. That couldn't even be, it doesn't have to be someone on social media. It could be a friend of yours. You could really like the way your friend does something in life and you think, mate, can I just ask you about this side of your life? How do you do it? Why do you do it? Because I'd really like
Mentors.
100%. I've always said, if you're the smartest person in a room, you're in the wrong room. Because it means you're not learning, there's not a mentor in there for you.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think that is one way to deal with self-sabotage. I mean, this is my opinion on it. That's the way I deal with my own self-sabotage. And don't get me wrong, I still beat myself up and eat myself up alive.
Mate, I do
about some of the things.
I do it all the time at work. Like, work's the worst place for self-sabotage. Like, you speak to my partner, like, she'll tell you, like, and it has got worse, I think, but I think over the years, though, you just sort of like whatever, like it is what it is, you know, you're gonna do it. You can use it in like terms of like positivity as well. Like, if you're sabotaging yourself, you're almost saying to yourself, I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
But it's good to look at yourself sometimes. Check in with yourself, you know.
That's one of the key. I'm glad you said that there. Like, you've got to check in with yourself.
Yeah. Like, it's not like a bad thing. Like, if you're like, you just got to just think to yourself, okay, like, I'm losing control here. That is the control. You it slips away, and then you then do the bad habits, don't you?
I think that's where
the sabotaging. That's where that comes from. Or like, if you're sabotaging yourself as well, like, I guess, I don't know, I'm just chucking scenarios out here.
I think one of the things is as well that you said there, like, the self-sabotage comes from not checking in with yourself. I think one of the key things to checking in with yourself is taking time away from work, where you live, things like that, going away, seeing someone new.
You need to chill out. Like, if
exactly.
you're at that stage.
There's too many people in life that are all like advocates of team no rest. I'll rest when I'm dead. And don't get me wrong. No. I say it.
People need to chill. And like, I think all this recent stuff that's been going on, people have slowly, I think, come round to the idea of, right, it's not all about 100 foot to the, you know, to the pedal to the foot. And thank you. Can get it out there. Foot to the gas. the American viewers.
Yeah.
Do you have any American viewers?
I do actually.
Do you?
Yeah. As it goes.
Are you good at American accents?
No, mate. Not even going to try it.
Surely because you was in Australia, weren't you?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly, mate.
Exactly, mate. Yeah, I can do that one.
American? No, you're not very good at
No,
American.
not at all.
I like the American accent.
But it's like
Self-sabotaging. So my opinion on self-sabotaging, everyone does it. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. Just don't let it control your life. Just monitor it. Again, there's that filtering, like just check in with yourself, the word sabotage though is quite like whoa, isn't it?
It's a deep word.
It's a deep word. Like if you get that thrown at you, self-sabotaging, like it's all that is sort of like you're punishing yourself for a reason. You just need to, like, we're like creatures of habit, aren't we? We do certain things, and when you're self-sabotaging yourself, you're almost like saying, "Oh, I shouldn't do this thing because it might be bad for you,
Mm-hmm.
might be good for you." Do you know what I mean? It's not necessarily a bad thing. I think everyone does it, but
I think we just need to look at it slightly differently.
Yeah,
don't treat it as self-sabotage.
I'll have your moment, yeah, if you really want to, but. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Like some people, like if you are going through, like we're on about like phase 2 here, aren't we?
Yeah.
But like self-sabotaging, it's all good. It's all good, mate. Just keep positive, It's a big word, yeah, but we're big adults. We can deal with big words.
I think one of the things is as well that you said it there that sabotage is such a negative word to begin with. If you were to rephrase it,
Positive,
as in like self-checking,
yes,
and then it comes back to then you're probably not going to beat yourself up about what you've seen on social media that day. You look at this, you look at that, and you think, why am I not that?
Yeah.
Whereas if you just do a bit of self-checking and go, there is aspects of my life I need to work on, so I'm going to look towards improving my mindset. I'm going to look. So it's about reversing a negative to a positive.
Yeah, it is.
So
it's a slow process, though. That's the thing.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. This is something I've always said is that you're not suddenly going to change something overnight and be doing fucking cartwheels down the high street because everything's cured the next day. That is not how this works. And it comes back to that quote we said about life. If everything happened overnight, you wouldn't know what to do with yourself. And I think this is going off on a slight tangent here, but this is what we see from when people go and win the lottery. They
one extreme to the other.
Exactly. They go from having nothing to a shitload of
it's like
something.
steroids, isn't it, though? In a way, it's cheating the system.
Well, I don't think winning the lottery is cheating the system because you've got to be in it to win it, sort of thing. But you go from nothing to something overnight.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. You're cheating the internal system.
Yes. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You're
cognitive. Yeah,
you're not ready. You're not bang. That's like whoa, like two different nights.
Which is why when you often see like younger people win the lottery, they're like go and squander it overnight and it's gone. That is it. Done.
Yeah.
And that side of things. So
I
think that's one way we can look at it, and I think that's sort of the point that we can use to end this one on is go from calling it self-sabotage to self-checking, and try and reverse it from being the negative to the positive, and it might change your whole outlook.
Be nice to yourself,
exactly.
Like,
bit of self-love.
The amount of times I mean, to this day I still self-sabotage, but it's I think, like I said, after a little while you get used to your own habits, and you're always constantly like analysing it. Is okay, this one might be a little bit bad, but it can sort of stay in a little bit. It's not doing too much harm. And you sort of come to the, like 30s, and you're just sort of like, okay, I am what I am. There's little bits of me that I don't like, but they're all right. There's loads of good bits as well.
But it's like you said as well, it's like looking to a mentor to help you change those elements and making those little investments in yourself to help you live a better life.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, at the end of the day, the best investment in life is in yourself. People can turn around and say, oh, it's a house, it's this, it's that. But if you invest in yourself with regards to how you are in life,
Yeah.
it's something you see a constant lot of returns on, because you start to see a better version of yourself from day to day.
Yeah.
This, that, and the other. So if you think, I need to improve my mindset towards my business, the way I work, the way I am in a relationship, go and invest in it. Go and find what you need to turn that negative into a positive, and it will help you lead a brighter future. I think, anyway. That's my personal view on that one.
Do whatever you want to do, mate. Like, if you wanna go out and take photographs for Apple for their backgrounds, just do it. But I guess you got to be realistic as well, haven't you? Like, you can start with a dream, but you just got to keep plugging away and riding the storm, mate. And like, who knows where it can end up?
That's it. Rome wasn't built in a day, and that
Definitely
sort of things.
not.
And I think that's quite a good one to end on. I think for a first Friday night chat, this has been a success.
I think it's good, mate. I like this. I like how a little bit more laid back it is. And I think it'd be a good opportunity as well to like get people to like ask questions, and we
that's what I mean. I put something out just on Instagram this afternoon for people to come and send, and there was more than the 3 topics we've discussed tonight, but it's something going forward that me and you try and do this once, twice a month, and hopefully we both learn something from it and enjoy it.
Before we depart, like, what are your reasons, so people know, like, my reasons for doing it and your reasons to do it? Because people need to realise as well that, like, we're not like best of friends, are we?
No.
We are like, we only met through camp.
Yeah, sort of what,
like
7-8 months ago?
Yeah,
maybe more. Actually, no, it's over a year now. It's over a year.
Yeah, and like we're doing a podcast. Like,
what are my reasons for doing it? It's different to hear people's topic or the way they look at things. And me and you have spoke off air about various different bits and pieces.
Yeah, we have quite a lot in common, and not so as well. Like, there's certain but we
different
can
characters
both,
sometimes.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, we share a very similar outlook on a lot of the points we've discussed tonight about the mindset of things, our own mental health. And I think that ultimately comes back to what me and you do this for. I mean, I speak for myself here, that obviously mental health is a big topic for myself.
It definitely, but on that topic of mental health, I think I love that everyone's talking about it, I do. But mental health, it has that sort of clinical feel to it, and I don't look, everyone's got like things going on and stuff like that, and like I've been thinking about it this week about like just having a little chat about what I feel about like what's going on, like, because it's like you see it all the time, and it's really good to see, but from somebody who has suffered from it a long time ago and like still has, like, I think that it gets thrown around too much in like a negative light. Like, I think we need to just like, because what I found when I went through the whole like cognitive behavioural and all that, like I felt like I've just been dragged around.
Yeah.
And like I think you wish, because you're younger as well, you wish like like a doctor would just go, there you go, that you're better, but they just like go, nah, you need to sort of try and do it yourself, and you're like, what? Like, you got so much going on.
It's one of the things I've said quite a bit, and I said it in the last statement actually, was that my whole thing about why I do the podcast and this side of things is like just helping people potentially take a step to a new chapter in their life, and things like that. And it is that if you go and talk to someone today, tomorrow, next week, don't expect everything to be cured overnight. No. What you've done is take the first positive step towards a more positive future.
Yeah.
Rather than the negative side of things. Because ultimately, when you're in a bad space, it is all negative.
Yeah.
So by you taking a step, never be afraid in life to turn a page in the chapter of your life. Like, ultimately, it comes back to what we spoke about. Controlling controllables. You control how your life plays out.
Yeah.
You control turning the page. If you want to stay in this chapter because you love being in this chapter, you stay there. If you don't, you go, oh, you know what? Turn the page.
Yeah.
Move on. And that's what life is all about, is finding the positives and keep moving with the positives rather than getting stuck on the negatives.
Definitely, I agree, 100%. I just think that we don't need to I think we need to stop dwelling on go back to my point I was saying earlier, like I think we need to stop like dwelling on the label of it all, you know, and just like everyone has like rough times, like we just need to stop saying, oh, you know, no offence to, I know people have different types of anxiety and stuff like that, but ultimately we just need to like all just understand that we all go through bits and bobs in our lives, and like let's just all just chat together like normally and openly, you know.
I think
that's perfect, and not dwell on it, because people don't want to be reminded all the time like this. They got something wrong with them. These chats like what we're having are just like discussions that people need in their lives. I think, you know, just that chitter chatter, you know, that reassurance, you know.
That's what
he's like me, like he said that thing that I normally do, you know, or he does that and I did, and then, you know, like okay, that's normal. Because when you're growing up and you have all these things going on, like anxiety and all that, like it's just because you're like, whoa, this world that we live in, you know, like, mate, if you 20 years ago, did you think that this today would look like how it is? Like,
mate, I was
pandemic.
Mate,
like,
I was 8 years. No, I wasn't even 8. I was 6. Sorry.
Do you think
I was sat eating worms in a garden?
But what I'm saying is, do you think that like we got to give ourselves some credit that we've come out 20 years later and
100%.
Do you know what I mean?
100%.
That's all I'm saying.
I think I completely get what you're saying, and I think that is, or still is, the aim of the podcast, was to create chats through people that sound, hence the name Flat White Chats. And I mean, I know we're sat here drinking a beer tonight, but not coffee, rather. So, but it was just aimed like as conversation. You could hear friends chatting over coffee about that open, honest pitter patter that you say there, where people are sat talking open, honestly all the time, rather than dwelling, worrying about things.
I've listened to a few of your podcasts, and I take away some, you know, like even the people that you have, like the sportsmen and sportswomen that you have on, and like just to hear their like I'm just taking away some that energy that they bring. I mean I do. So I think that's really good, and like I get that, and I like that as well. I like what you bring to it.
Thank you, mate. I appreciate that.
I think it works well.
I think that's a good one to wrap up Friday Night Chats.
But I think, just to finish on the end of it, that we should get people to write in or on the old Instagram socials,
send us a DM.
and we'll talk about whatever gets thrown our way.
There you go. So
two blokes just chatting shit for an hour and a half. We'll talk about whatever, you know.
Yeah. So there we go. That's a good point to end on. So in a couple of weeks' time, we'll do another. Yeah. And send in any questions, anything you want answering, any questions coming back from this one, and we will try our best. So thank you for listening to the first Friday Night Chats.
Thank you very much. It's been an honour, sir.
Thank you, mate.
Boosh.